up next, we have a speaker who is visiting us from Oman. He's going to be discussing something interesting, I think is very interesting, because the topic is our experience of investing in Pakistani startups. Everyone, please welcome our next speaker, Charlie Ill. A little more than that, please.
All right. 2 years ago was my first introduction to the Pakistan startup ecosystem, and I absolutely loved it. And I keep coming back. Thanks, Jahan. Good afternoon. My name is Charlie Ill. I'm the Managing Director of Oman Technology Fund. And over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you a little bit about our experience having invested in 6 Pakistan startups, as well as share some insights with some of the entrepreneurs in the room as to how they can perhaps tap onto us for additional support. In brief, I'll touch on what is Oman Technology Fund. OTF is broken down into 3 divisions. We are a venture capital fund, a subsidiary of Oman Sovereign Wealth, and we invest from everything from ideation all the way to growth in Series A and Series B. I represent one of those columns. I'm the orange column, the middle child, and what I particularly focus on is the seed stage. So if you have early revenue traction, I'm giving you a ticket size of $100,000 to $500,000 to get you from first customer to small expansion. We are one of MENA's most active investors. We have about 100 companies in our portfolio. We've been in operation for 3 years. We expect to increase our investments to probably another 70 startups more over the next 2 years. In brief, very brief, value proposition is quite precise. One of the things, because we participate from an early stage all the way to growth funding, we give our entrepreneurs a bit of peace of mind, knowing that there's always potentially a ticket or a check that's available for them should they raise follow-on funding. And this is something that happens quite traditionally in our business, so we continue to follow on in future rounds. Also, something I'm quite proud of as Oman Tech Fund is our market access. Because Oman is very small and because of our position as sovereign wealth, we have access to some of the major decision makers that are in Oman. As example, 2 weeks ago, we brought together 22 insurance companies, the Central Market Authority, and the Central Bank to get to know some of our insurtech companies, one of which is Smart Choice, which was just up on stage. And within a week's time, CMA, or the Central Market Authority, gave them the license to operate within our market. And also, after that workshop with those 22 insurance companies, many of our startups secured proof of concepts as well as sales contracts. So it's something that we're actually quite good at. And it's outside of insurance as well. We have things like 1 million palm trees that need watering and pollination and monitoring. We have a port that's being set up in the middle of the desert that needs smart buildings. We have oil and gas rigs that require transport of goods and equipment using drones. So there's lots of projects that we're focused on, and we're helping our startups get there. So in brief, what we're looking for, and the reason why this fits into the Pakistan-Oman story, and touching on a little bit about why we invested in the startups we did, is because we wanted to make sure we're investing in startups that complement Oman's initiatives. And some of those initiatives revolve around a lot of these topics. Now, these are all very general topics, which essentially means that if you're a good salesman, you can convince us you fit within one of those buckets. Typically, that is the case. We also look at what has been happening from a funding side in MENA region over the last 5 years. And in the last 5 years, you notice that there's a significant contribution towards the lifestyle space, but it goes all the way as far as the financial products as well. So what we know is that we are investing in startups that fit these types of roles. To be clear, it's not a condition for a startup to set up in Oman when they receive our money, but it is important that these startups do. It's important that our startups at least give it a college try, at least, to see if their products fit within our industry and can tap into our market access. Also, more importantly, is the simplicity metric. This is something that we feel strongly about. There's a couple of people that are certainly much smarter than I am that put together a stock index on startups and brands that have provided a simplicity to their customers. one of the beautiful things about technology is that it creates order through disorganization. And technology has really been great when it comes to providing brands and businesses a better or more simple way of approaching their customers. So one of the things we like to look at are the industries at the bottom of this list, from 15 and down, which includes things like insurance, like banking products, like fitness, car rentals, automotive. These are things we like to invest in startups in because they, with their technologies, in hope, will create some order to the, I guess, the disorder of these businesses. Just to be clear, the Simplicity Index that was created here outperformed the S&P 500 benchmark by about 680%. So it is quite a significant number, and we're investing in technologies that can potentially support these businesses to gaining this type of traction. So at this point, that's enough about what we do and where I'm from. I'd like to touch on the Pakistan-Oman strategy, and at this point in time, welcome two of our founders onto the stage as well, who are currently in our cohort 2. And so guys, can you come on stage, please? So we have Samir, who's the CEO of Social Champ, and we have Sibtain, who is the CEO of Smart Choice. So what I'm going to do, guys, real quick, is just do a couple more slides, and then I think it'd be great to get your feedback as well. So first, why Pakistan? Well, geographically, it makes sense from us from Oman. It's a shorter flight than some of the businesses we've invested in way out in Tunis or in Morocco. If we need to get on a plane and boots on the ground for an urgent matter on behalf of our entrepreneur, we want to be able to do that fairly quickly. Karachi is an hour flight, and Lahore and Islamabad is not much further than that. So simply from a distance perspective, it makes sense. Oh, there we go. Second, from a timing perspective, when we first came to Oman at this first Disrupt, there were some murmurs about how the Pakistan macroeconomic indicators look very similar to something Indonesia was potentially 10 years ago. And that was around the same time when Gojek received their first major investment, roughly around 7 to 10 years ago. And that was quite optimistic for us. Getting in on the ground floor is something that's very important to us. Secondly, on timing side, so from Pakistan's market in general, it's ready. It's absolutely ready. And the startups that we've invested in, we have strong hopes and optimism that they're going to do well, certainly in this market. But secondly is in MENA, the volume of investments and the ticket sizes and the volume of money, volume of deals and volume of money that's been done is increasing. That being said, the number of deals from the seed stage, which is that 100,000 to 500,000, is in fact reducing, and most of the new money is entering at the Series A. So what we find is, from a Pakistan-Oman story, we're investing in seed stage Pakistan startups because we want to sell them to our MENA-based Series A customers. And that's the whole handoff, and we'd like to facilitate for that. And lastly is just a qualitative measure on just the grit that the Pakistan entrepreneurs, certainly the ones in our portfolio, have. There's an unrelentless refusal to quit. They're the first people to arrive in our office and the last to leave. And for that reason, while time alone in the office is not a great indicator of performance, it is one that does matter to us. And so we are very excited about the fact that our entrepreneurs from Pakistan are technology-based. They have the technology skill set, and they have just a drive to work horrible hours, but fantastic hours to make their business grow. That's my input. And you got to thank these guys for it. But anyway, that's my input. I'm going to leave it to the founders for their testimonials as well. I'm going to hand off to you guys to please give a balanced opinion, not too harsh. If you notice, they dress the same for the occasion, so please go ahead, guys.
Right. This is just a coincidence that we're dressing the same jacket. So I just wanted to mention a few things about how this OTF process worked, because we were the first Pakistanis, me and Samir, to get into this program. So Charles really helped us when we were pitching it to their investment committee. He really helped us throughout the process of how we should look at our business, how we present it, what the things that we should mention. And that really helped us put a good show in front of the investment committee of this fund. So Charles has been really helpful. Secondly, when we got to the
Checks in the mail. Thanks for the.
So the second thing, when we got to the program and we raised the money, we went there. They instantly put us in touch with their alumni network, and they really helped us because they had already grown their companies, went through the seed stage, and we could take a lot of learnings from them and implement it in our business, from acquisition to finances to growth. So that was really helpful for us, and that network is still available. We can access them at any point in time. And the last point is they didn't just invest in our business for a small round, but eventually they are also helping us grow and expand into different markets. So right now we are looking to enter into Oman. We are talking to some regulatory authorities over there as well, and all thanks to OTF for making it happen. So yeah, that's about it from me, and I'm also thankful for OTF to consider Pakistan market as one of their key markets to look at. We've put up a great show in front of OTF to make sure that they keep coming back, and I'm sure there's a next batch coming up, and I hope they'll be seeing more Pakistani companies there as well.
Yeah. Just briefly on that, so Sidtain has managed to raise money from a Pakistani angel that works in Oman. He's also successfully worked with an Omani company to get access to a license that allows him to operate and sell insurance products in Oman. None of that, I think that's really where he had to take some sacrifices to get that sort of stuff, but that's really where his perseverance has paid off. So he's thrived well in our country, yeah.
You just said all the good stuff.
He did.
Okay. I think I first met Charles in 021Disrupt, the first conference that happened. And I was with Jahara, Charles, and Jawad Faid was sitting, and I was trying to learn how to eat crabs with Charles. That's how I met Charles the first time. But to be honest, Charles is really a good guy. All right. But,
yeah.
Right.
Checks in the mail.
He's a one-man army. So when you look at OTF, Wadi Accelerator, you'll just find Charles doing everything. Helping you pitch, helping you get investments, getting you to customers, marketing, and everything. So we need more guy in OTF like Charles. It just cannot be one man. It has to be more guys. So 20 startups in a cohort. Everybody seeks Charles, right? I got an appointment from Charles, 4 p.m. is your time. I got it 6 p.m. But he stayed with me from 6 till 10 p.m. at the night. Oman actually sleeps at 5 p.m., right? So he stayed with me. So he does everything from his heart. Right, so that's the truth. So things kind of get delayed, but he just manages to get you off and connect you with everybody he knows, gets people connected. And then we had a trip where we were gone to London from training. He gave us exposure. Social Champ got a lot of influencers from London. People started using the product. We had a lot of acquisition offers. And in London, we had a lot of investor connections. And speaking of investor communities, OTF had a very good investor community. It was super slow. I think
slow.
And
it is slow, but we're fixing it. So this is a key point. I mean, and this is what I asked these guys to do, was give a balanced review, so that we come in eyes wide open. Our investment committee is very tough, and it has been a slow process. But luckily, some of those things have changed, which has made it a better place. Thankfully. In the last month, we invested the same number of startups that it took us 2 years to invest prior. And at the same time, the amount of money is 3 times the money we spent last month is 3 times the amount we spent over the last 2 years. So these decisions are now becoming quite rapid. But thanks for giving a balanced input. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So that's it. If you want to recognize the logo, we have a special gift which you'll get by the end of the conference in your bag. It's a special gift from Social Time to all the attendees who attended 021Disrupt.
Did we not mention?
And thank you so much.
Thanks, Akash, for the last reminder. So anyway, that's kind of what we're doing. We've done 6 investments in Pakistani startups. We intend to do a significant number more. The experience has been extremely enjoyable as an international investor, and if there's any questions that international investors have about what we've done, or if the entrepreneurs want to approach us, please see me as a resource. I'm available for the help. Okay, thanks very much. Jahan, thanks for having me.
Mr. Charlie Hill, I'd like to invite you back on stage. I believe you have a special announcement. Everyone, please welcome Charlie back on stage. Little more enthusiasm, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I'll make it quite short. Just a quick announcement on behalf of one of our startups. We've a new addition to our team, or a new addition to our cohort. This is Queno, which is an ERP system for schools. And one of the things we really like about them is a very interesting fintech play that they're getting their hands in now. I believe that these guys will be able to share more at a future date. But guys, welcome to the cohort, and we're really excited to have you on board.
Thanks,
so,
man.
yeah.
Thanks. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Sorry, I'll just keep it very short. We are so excited that we are announcing this in Disrupt. That's what I thought, that I'll just tell you all that how we actually met Charles, as Samir has also said this. So honestly, how I really met him the first time is that Jahan texted all of us, all the nestlings, that there's a guy, Charles, coming from Oman to nest and just come and receive him. So I guess very few of the people were there at the nest to receive him. And at that time, actually, I learned the real meaning of networking. So in the first cohort, when we pitched to Oman, we didn't get selected. But we are very happy and glad that we are now selected. And now we can scale to other regions of the world as well, and specifically also to the other cities of Pakistan. So thank you so much, Jahan Ara. Thank you so much, Nest, and all the mentors and everyone over here that you supported us, and keep praying for us. Thank you so much. Thanks.